We're talking about breathing again. I do thank God for all of those that are here today. Thanking God for this wonderful man of God and Superintendent Timothy Johnson. Give the Lord a hand praise for our leader. Man, I thank God for his vision and his willingness to serve God. It is unfortunately more rare than it should be to find men of God that are truly of God. Not about title, not about position. I can tell you from experience, he did not want to be a superintendent. He was not aiming to be a superintendent, but he served because there was a need that he thought God could use him for. And that's the kind of leader that will always put the will and the word of God first. And so I thank God for Superintendent Johnson. Thanking God, of course, for First Lady Johnson and her loving heart and the whole St. Mary family. Give yourselves some praise for God giving you each other. Because we praise God to have you in our lives. Amen? Thank you, God, for the Faith and Love Church of God in Christ coming out. Thank you, Faith and Love. Come on, praise the Lord for our church family. We thought it not robbery to cancel our service to come here because you know what I found out? The same God that I'm worshiping over on Ryan is on McKinley too. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be in the building to be in the house. Amen. So we thank God for our members being willing and so apt and able and loving to come over. And I thank God for all the guests that are here. All those that thought it well to come out and be revived today. Because we need revival today. We need a time of restarting our breath. We need a time. This world will do some things that'll cause you some trouble and some difficulty breathing. And we need to be able to breathe again. The theme is so appropriate. The theme, and I love how St. Mary, and look, I love y'all. Y'all also know if we weren't on Ryan, believe me, First Lady and I would be here. If there was ever another church we would belong to, it would be here. I love the spirit of St. Mary. I love the leadership and how it flows so well because what you do is God-led. And you can't go wrong with God-led. And your theme is so appropriate because we are constrained and struggling to breathe. The world is gasping and just thriving on the ground trying to find breath. And what we don't realize how important it is for us to be able to breathe again. If you've never had shortness of breath, you don't understand the fear that hits you when you cannot breathe. You don't understand what it's like until you can't catch your breath. And then you understand how important it is to breathe again. See, you have to understand that in order to breathe again, it means at some point you were able to breathe, but something stopped your breath. Something impaired your ability. And so as I was blessed with the honor and the wonderful opportunity to open this up, I thought, God, where do you want me to go with such an amazing theme and this time that is so prevalent in the life of believers? And God brought me to the first breath. I know y'all gonna get a whole bunch of First King, and I'm not trying to walk over that, but I understand that we're gonna talk about breathing. We gotta understand where the breath came from. And when we see the young man in the passage in Kings, it was not that he lost anything but breath that caused alarm. When you lose breath, it causes alarm. And so when we look at this, when we go back to the beginning, we find that man started out as lifeless clay. We were nothing until God breathed in us. We started out as nothing, formless, shapeless, but God took his hand. He personally reached down into earth and brought forth a figure. But he wasn't finished with the figure until it had his power. He breathed life into this clay. He breathed life into this lifeless instrument. And guess what? Whatever God creates, he wants to continue. Whatever God created, if he made us to breathe, then the idea is that we're supposed to keep breathing. God doesn't waste anything. He wouldn't waste his breath if he didn't want us to keep breathing. And so you got to understand, when you get that part in your mind, everything that God created continues. When he made light, he said, let there be light. Light's still light. Light ain't stopped being light. Light didn't take a day off from being light. One day light came in and said, I'm going to be dim today. It was always light. When God said, let there be apple trees and pulled them from the ground and said, continue after your own kind. Apple trees keep making apple trees. I haven't seen an apple tree yet make a banana. Hasn't made a banana tree yet. Why? Because apple trees were made to make apple trees. They were to continue with how God made them. He made lions, tigers, and bears. Until this day, they're still lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. They still continue to do what he made them to do. And whatever God made to do is to continue doing what he told it to do, and it will continue eternally unless something alters it.
Right. Yeah.
See, we don't realize we were never supposed to die, but we let in death. When God made Adam and Eve, he didn't want them to die. Death had not started. Death wasn't supposed to be there. But when Adam sinned, he altered God's design for man. He altered what God had designed, and what he ended up doing is causing death to come in. What is death? Death is just when we stop breathing. Adam caused the stoppage of breathing when he brought in sin. How do we know? Because when he brought in sin, something stopped breathing. After that first sin, we know God said he clothed them with cloaks of skin. Last time I checked, in order to take the skin off something, it's got to die. So when Adam sinned, he took something that was supposed to be perpetual and altered it and brought in an afterthought that was not supposed to be a thought, because he thought the wrong thing. He brought in sin, and sin brings about death. And death is nothing more than the permanent stoppage of breath. So you have two counterpoles. You have God giving breath, and you have sin stealing breath. And man is in the middle trying to catch his breath. Oh, Jesus. Woo. Glory to God. See, you have to understand, the devil knows he can't stop God's breath. He can't stop what God speaks. He can't stop what God exudes into the presence of man. He can't stop what God has ordained and spoken over your life. So what he has come to do, he can't stop God's breath, but he sure will obstruct your airway. He comes to try to take your breath away. He comes to try to steal your breath. As a matter of fact, he tries to hit you so hard, he wants to knock the wind out of you. We're still dealing with it even today. Even today, how many times have we been so messed up, so hurt, so going through that we said, I can't breathe. Have you ever been so cried out so in the middle of your pain that you cried so hard? You have to stop and say, I can't breathe. Have you ever been so scared of something going on that it shocked you so hard you stopped and bent over and said, I can't breathe? Have you ever been so stressed out and it felt like everything was falling around you and falling on you, and even though you never said a word, inside you scream, I can't breathe. The devil's plan is to obstruct your airway. He can't stop what God wants to do with you. He can't stop what God has for you, but he will try his best to get between you and what God has for you to obstruct you receiving that breath.
Yeah.
Oh, because the devil understands that not only can I kill you if I cut off your breath, but if I can't completely cut off your breath, if I can give you lack of oxygen, I can damage you along the way.
Yeah.
See, so many times we might still be catching a breath or two, but we're still suffering from lack of oxygen.
Yeah.
We're still suffering from lack of presence. We're still suffering from the lack of the full breath of God being in our lives. And just like naturally, when you have lack of oxygen, you get damaged.
Yes, sir.
Some of the signs of lack of oxygen, they say you get delusional. The devil knows if I can stop you from breathing in God, it'll start changing how you see the world. He'll make you hallucinate. You know, when you don't have enough oxygen, you start seeing things that aren't there and perceiving things the wrong way, and you'll start imagining things that never happened. That's how the devil gets us to get panicked, and the more we get panicked, the harder it is for us to breathe.
Yes, sir. There now.
And then he'll hold on long enough where your body after a certain point, when it can't breathe, it loses consciousness.
Yeah.
The devil knows if he can hold us down long enough, we'll lose the mind that God gave us. We'll lose the sense of understanding that God gave us. We'll lose consciousness, and we will black out, and we'll be there, but we won't be there. How many times have we been in situations where we went through so much that we were just present, but we weren't in the moment because we couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And when we couldn't breathe, we started to shut down, and all the good that we could have done, we can't do because we can't find our breath.
Yeah.
And the devil understands that all I gotta do is cause you to struggle in your breathing.
Yeah.
We have to understand, if you gotta fix something, you gotta know what the cause is. Y'all know I'm kind of systemic that way. I like to take things in pieces. So if we understand that God gave us the breath, and we need the breath gives us life, and the devil is trying to stop us from breathing, I need to know how he's doing it so I can get over it. Do you know that your breathing issues don't just happen magically? There's always a cause and effect. There's something that causes you to struggle. There's something that causes you to have issues. And you got to understand, until you deal with the issue, you can't have the issue resolution. So there's too many ways that we have obstruction in our breathing. We can have external pressure or internal swelling. External pressure or internal swelling. When you look at most cases, when they look at people that are struggling to breathe, the first thing they do is make sure that there's nothing restricting their airway. If you find someone that's having a hard time breathing, they say to open up their collar and make sure that there's nothing impeding the air from coming in. See, the external pressure is what pushes on you and causes you not to be able to get it in. The external pressure is when it puts the weight of the world on your chest, and you're sitting there trying to breathe. My bills are due. God, I'm trying to breathe. My children in trouble. God, I'm trying to breathe. The people on my job acting funny. God, I'm trying to breathe. I'm afraid I'm going to lose it all. God, I'm trying to breathe. And the devil keeps putting that weight on you to try to compress your ability to inhale. He's been trying to strangle us with sin since the beginning. It's amazing. I found it interesting that the animal that the devil chose was a snake. And one of the things in the category of snake is called a constrictor. And what a constrictor does is he doesn't poison you. He doesn't get on the inside of you. But what he does, he gets around you. He wraps himself around you and he begins to squeeze. He begins to put pressure. He begins to hold you down. He begins to make you feel lonely. He begins to make you feel isolated. He begins to make you feel worthless. He begins to make you feel powerless. And every time he squeezes in, we lose a little breath.
Yes, sir.
And every time we lose a little breath, he holds a little tighter. So we can't get it back in.
Right.
The devil tries to use external pressure to cause us to have difficulty breathing. You gotta watch what you let have influence on you.
Right. Preach it.
But the external pressure sometimes is the easiest part. Because it is the internal swelling that is the most dangerous.
Right.
Anybody that's had asthma understands the internal swelling. When the bronchioles start to swell and the blood vessels start to swell and you can't catch your breath, even though nothing is happening on the outside, there's something happening on the inside that's causing you to swell to a point that you can't get it in, even though you're trying. And the danger of the internal situation is that it isn't seen by anybody else. Oh my God. How many times have we sat in the church having trouble breathing? Oh, we went to church every Sunday, but we still had trouble breathing. Oh, we were in prayer service, but we still had trouble breathing. We were at the Bible class, but we still had trouble breathing. Because the devil knows if I can get something in you, it's far more effective than what I can put on you. See, if I can get fear in you, it'll swell up in a structure area. If I can get doubt in you, it'll swell up in a structure. If I can get worry in you, it'll swell up and break up your airway, and I'll congest you till I kill you. It's just like an allergic reaction. Have you ever seen people when they eat something they're not supposed to eat, if they have an allergy to it, what happens? Their throat begins to swell. Nobody's touching them from the outside, but on the inside, their throat begins to swell up. Their lungs begin to fill, and they can't catch their breath. And the devil knows all I gotta do is get the right content in you. Oh God, did you not know that the way God made you, you are deathly allergic to sin? You go into Anti for laughter stocks. He left us and I'm in shock. We have to be careful because when we get the wrong thing in us, it'll start to swell up in us. And see, it's called, oh Lord, it's called a histamine. When you have trouble with your histamines, it means that something foreign came in and connected to some place that was designed for something else. And your body starts to react negatively to it. But see, we have to understand, we got to be careful. Have you ever noticed anybody with a peanut allergy? They're going to check everything before they eat it. You got peanuts in the kitchen? You got peanut? Did you watch the Peanuts comic strip? I need to make sure ain't no peanuts around me. If I'm allergic to peanuts. We got to be the same way about our lives. I can't let none of that get in me. I can't let your fear get in me. I can't let your doubt get in me. I can't let your worry get in me. I got to watch that because I'm allergic to it. I can't be around it because I want to breathe. And so I'm going to get ready to let you go because I know you have another service tonight. But I want to help you. I don't believe we should ever come to the house of God and not get something to take us out when we leave the house of God. And so I want you to understand that there's a way to deal with obstruction in your breathing. There's a way to deal with it so you can breathe again. when I was looking it up, they said there's 3 common steps that you want to take if you find yourself struggling to breathe. The first one is to stop what you're doing. The second one is to hold your hands above your head to open the airway. And the third one is to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. They say if you find yourself having trouble breathing, these are what you should do. And I said, well, God, well, how does that apply to us? Well, he said, it's very simple. That which I see in the natural, I can also see in the spiritual. He said, the first thing, when you find yourself with shortness of breath, look around and see what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. See if there's something in your environment that's causing the reaction. Sometimes you gotta stop hanging out with certain people. Sometimes you gotta stop going certain places. Sometimes you gotta stop watching certain shows. You gotta stop listening to certain music. You gotta stop letting your mind go to certain places. I gotta stop what I'm doing because it's causing me trouble breathing. I've gotta stop what I'm doing. And then I've gotta make sure I get some medication if I need to open my airways. Sometimes you gotta get what's called an antihistamine. It's something that they put in you that goes in and releases those things that are blocking, and it causes them to have to let go. You gotta get the word, that's our antihistamine. We gotta get the word in us. We gotta get an injection of Jesus. We gotta get the Spirit to come in, and when the Spirit comes in, it'll start to expectorate everything else. It'll start causing some stuff to come up that was in us. It'll start causing some things to let go that was holding on. It'll cause some things to have to shift, and you'll find yourself getting rid of something from the inside. Not only do we have to stop what we're doing, get the right things in us, but then it says, lift up your hands. Oh, hold up. Lift up your hands. One way I gotta do once I stop what I'm doing, I got the medicine in me, I gotta hold up my hands. See, when you hold up your hands in the natural, it opens up the lungs, it opens up the rib cage, it allows you to inhale. It allows you to take in. See, there's some things I gotta surrender to take in. There's some things I gotta let go to take in. There's some things I gotta say, God, I need you to take in. There's some things I gotta throw my hands up in the sanctuary and bless the Lord to get through. Oh, I gotta hold up my hands because I'm inflamed with worry. I'm inflamed with all these other things. And when I lift up my hands, God can let it all come out. I have to lift up my hands, crying out to God. Now here's the catch. I'm almost done. But I need you to get this part. Because if you don't get this part, it'll cause you to still struggle. Because we have to get to this last part to seal it. So not only do I stop what I'm doing and I lift up my hands, but I have to breathe deeply and deliberately. In through my nose and out through my mouth. In through my nose and out through my mouth. In through my nose. Oh, what do I know? Oh, I know he knows all about it. I know he knows the plan for me. I know he knows everything I'm going through. I know he knows every one of my situations. I know he knows all about it. I know he knows every pain that I feel. He knows what I need. He knows how to bring me out. He knows what I'm doing. He knows. I can trust because he knows. Because now I can breathe again. Once I know what he knows, in through the nose, let the praise out the mouth. Because now I have the condition scripture that says that everything that has breath, when I can breathe again, oh, let me praise the Lord. When I want to breathe better, let me praise the Lord. Oh, let us praise God. So we can breathe again. You got to understand right now. This revival is a 911 call. Because somebody in here is having trouble breathing. Somebody in here is being obstructed from the life-giving breath of God. And this revival is our way of calling to heaven and saying, God, we want to breathe again. God, we've come to where you can infuse in us those antibodies, those antihistamines, those powers that will loosen up our lungs and get everything out of us that ain't supposed to be in us, and then we can breathe again. We want to breathe again. Stand on your feet. As a matter of fact, as I was thinking about this, I thought, man, oh God, we come to try to catch our breath, but God corrected me. He said, no, that's not going to work, because if you catch your breath, you have the same problems. So God, I am here to catch your breath. God, I'm here to catch your breath. God, I need you to breathe on me again. I need you to breathe in me again. I need you to resuscitate me again. Lord, breathe in me so I can breathe again. Just like you did on Pentecost. Just like you did with a mighty rushing wind. Breathe on us. Breathe in us. We want to breathe again, God. And I can't breathe without you. I can't have life without you. I can't get it out without you. There's some stuff on the inside, God. I need you to come in and help me breathe. The devil is holding on. And God, I'm fighting him. But I need you to come in and break it up so I can breathe again. We're here, God, standing before you right now, saying, God, we want to breathe again. I don't want to be short of breath. I don't want to be huffing and puffing, meaning I'm just making a lot of noise, but I'm not getting a lot of in. God, I need you to help me breathe again. Father, while we're standing before you, oh God, these that have come to this place of revival, looking for your restorative respiration, looking for you to come in with a mighty breath, a ruha, a heavenly breath that will cause our lungs to fill again, that will start the process of inhaling and exhaling, inhaling your presence, exhaling your glory, so that we can breathe again. Father, we come before you with our hands in surrender, with our lungs open to you. Lord, you know where we have our internal bleeding. You know where we've been wounded and caused us to hemorrhage. You know what's working on the inside and causing the swelling of self, or the swelling of fear, or the swelling of doubt. You know, God, and we know you are the prescription to our constriction. So, Father, we come before you right now, and we ask that you do what you did for us again. It's not the first time, God. You gave breath to man in the garden. But even after man fell apart, you gave him breath again on Pentecost. And God, you are still saying that I'm sending a wind, sending a breath, perpetually there. That all we have to do, you said, God, that your Holy Spirit doesn't have to come, it's here. But the devil has found ways, God, to obstruct
Oh, yeah.
Our breathing. He's found ways to put things in our hearts and our minds that have stopped us from breathing you in. And God, we cast them all on you. Because your word said we have the privilege to cast our cares on you. We can cast the weight on you. We can cast the struggle on you. God, we cast it all on you right now. Every source of pressure, every source of pain, we cast it on you. And we take in exchange your presence that will help heal the brokenhearted, that will help mend the broken, that will work in us and cause us to breathe again. Lord, let your breath abide in us. And God, for whatever we need in this house, whatever has come to stand between us and you, God, we ask that you move it out of the way. We ask that, God, if it's something in our thoughts, God, purify our minds, create in us a clean heart, and renew a right spirit in us, that we might be able to breathe again. Lord God, as you work through these days of revival, Lord, let every obstruction be removed. Let every hindrance, every constriction, every inflammation be removed, so that we can flow in your breath again, so that we can be moved by your breath again, so that we can be revived by your breath again. God, we are standing here looking for mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. From your mouth in the breath, and from ours we'll give you praise. Lord, let the cycle continue. Breathe on us, and we will praise on you. Breathe on us, and we will praise on you. Breathe on us, and we will praise on you. Have your way, God. Have your way, God. Move in the midst of your people. Help us today, God. Oh, free us to breathe. Free us to breathe. Free us to breathe. And God, with the breath you give us, we'll give you the glory. We'll give you the honor. And we'll give you the praise. Oh, it's in Jesus' name that we pray. And we thank you, Lord. Thank you. You are the air I breathe. Come on, sing it, sing it, sing it. You are the air. You are the air I breathe. Your Holy Spirit.
St. Mary Community Church 2019 Summer Revival. You can breathe again.